Welcome to the podcast, guys, with Rob and Nando. We have a reaction video. Let's dive right into it.
Regular conversation with you, and you're just treat like it's not even the fact.
That was a quick one. Before we dive into it, did you see what we saw, what you think we saw on the wall, which was those condoms?
I did see that. I hope that's not them like keeping track of their results, because that looked like a dorm room or something, but
It seems like a list they have, but not actually written down. Visual list on the wall.
yeah, if you zoom in on the video, you see they have a bunch of blown up condoms just hanging from the wall. I don't know what that was.
That's what it looks like. That's
Yeah.
what it looks like. But I digress. Let's get into it. What can you tell by that 10, 12-second video that you saw there? Girl on the phone with her boyfriend, some sort of partner, and apparently they're arguing. He's probably upset with her. She's acting like she's upset, but not really, because you can see that, I would say, nasty smile at the end.
Yeah, so what we basically just saw is a woman fake crying to her boyfriend or whoever that guy was, making up some excuse or trying to, get away with something. And she basically turned at her friend and gave that kind of wink, like, I'm just bullshitting this guy. So if you read the caption of the video, it says, "This is why men have trust issues," or something along those lines. And that's exactly right. This video, even though it's a short clip, is a prime example of how manipulative women can be. And in this particular case, as women often do, is she's using crying as a way to get away with something. That's what I got out of that video. So
it's silly how she's saying that she wants to have a regular conversation with the guy. Meanwhile, she's acting like she's upset and crying, but she's really just making fun of the guy at the end. She's just really manipulating him at the end.
Yeah, and I wish we had more context to the video, but based on what I saw, and this is what tends to basically happen is if she was using crying to get away with something, then that tells me that chances are the discussion they were having was something about something she did. He was probably trying to hold her accountable to it, or maybe he was even just questioning her about it, and she resorted to crying to kind of look, when girls cry, as guys, we kind of let our guard down. We kind of want to hear them out, and we feel bad for them. So that's exactly what she was doing, is she was manipulating him by fake crying to kind of get her way in this case.
When you see that, does that make you lose trust in a woman?
100%. I mean, to me, this is nothing new. Videos like this no longer really surprise me, because I'm well aware by this point in my life that women manipulate guys, and that this is just one of many ways that they can do it.
And when you are talking with her over the phone, just like that guy was, and she's acting that way, and it was something that she did that likely she's being accused of. Maybe she was cheating. Maybe she did something to seem like she was cheating. Something along the lines, what I presume could be. But it's funny to me how she acts that way, sort of like she's trying to see where he's going to go with it.
As we said in the beginning of the video, it looks like they were in a dorm room. Obviously, there's another female in the room, so I'm assuming these are girls that live in a dorm at a college. They had a bunch of condoms blown up on the wall. So let's just assume, bad red flag. Let's just assume that this guy was maybe questioning her. Maybe he assumed she was cheating, or she did something. Maybe she posted something on her Instagram, and that got him concerned. I think that as a man, you can always trust your gut instinct. In this particular case, if he's dating a girl that's in college, he's already in a bad place, because at her age, if she's in college, she's not going to be loyal. Sorry to tell you, whoever that guy is, she's going to be cheating on you, and she probably already is. And you should always trust your gut instinct. I wouldn't let a woman really explain herself if I really felt she was cheating, because in this case, whatever he's accusing her of, she clearly did. I mean, she's bullshitting him and fake crying to manipulate him into believing that he's wrong, and that's a form of gaslighting.
Well, she's sitting there trying to play the victim, which women tend to do. Let's keep it real here. And how do you think he's feeling, thinking that it's real, that she's really feeling that way, that she's feeling guilty?
Chances are, he's probably taking her word for it. He's probably, listening to her over the phone. He's not there physically with her, so he's listening to her voice. He hears that she's crying. He probably feels bad. Maybe he feels guilty for the argument that he started or whatever he brought up over the phone. So, and that's her intention, right? When women do that to you, is they want you to. What she's basically doing is flipping the script. He's accusing her of something, or bringing up some issue, argument, what have you, and she's saying, "Shit, I can't take accountability for this. Let me start crying and make him feel bad." So chances are he probably feels bad.
Now, that video went viral. What are the chances that he saw the video and found out that she was just playing some games with him?
That video did go viral, and I would say there's a good chance he did come across it. And look, if I was in that guy's shoes, if number one, how embarrassing is that, right? Your girl's in a dorm with condoms on the wall, playing you over the phone and making fun of you. Nevertheless, that's what she's basically doing. I would hope that he ended it with her immediately if he did see the video.
Well, she was being deceitful. She was flat out lying and playing his mind, playing with his emotions right there. And that's a form of abuse.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you are emotionally manipulating someone, especially someone that you've been intimate with, we can assume that's abuse right there. And it shouldn't be done. And she was flat out lying to the guy about how she felt.
I'm glad that we're actually reacting to this particular video, because we often talk about like women not wanting to take accountability. Women always put pressure on guys, and the burden of success and everything is always on the man's side and all that stuff. But this is a prime example of how like women just dodge accountability. Whether she did or didn't do whatever it is that they're arguing about or whatever he's accusing her about, why is she fake crying and then winking at her friend? Why is she's hiding something, right? So I think in general, when you accuse a woman of cheating or doing something she shouldn't have, they have a hard time saying, look, my bad, that was my mistake, I won't do that again, or you're right. They're going to play games like this.
Well, let's pause for a second, because yes, we can assume that it was some sort of cheating related situation, but it could be a variety of different things. So we understand that. But at the end of the day, she's sitting there, she did something wrong, and she knows it,
yes,
and she's making fun of him for it. Would you say that smile at the end is kind of like a big FU to the guy?
It's a big FU, and it's, even the way she did it, the way she kind of like winked at her friend, it just conveys zero respect for the guy. She's taking this guy for a run,
It seems like it's something that, again, women tend to do. They do something wrong, then they pull out the victim card.
Yes.
Oh, woe is me. And it's all BS. They shouldn't have done it in the first place. If they truly cared, they shouldn't do it in the first place. It doesn't make sense. Why let it get that far? Whether it's cheating, whether you did something stupid, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense one bit. And that's why guys have a hard time confiding in women and taking steps, step by step, trying to take a relationship further. I mean, it seems like, again, from that point of view, we don't have all the facts, of course. In this case, we don't have all the whole video,
right?
The whole conversation, the whole situation. But it seems like it's a situation where it's a long distance relationship. He's maybe going to another university. She's dorming somewhere in a college as well. So those types of relationships is kind of like you can call it goodbye at that point.
Women throw all types of stuff at guys. Oh, you're insecure. You have trust issues, you have commitment issues, this and that. But in reality, women cause a lot of those issues. So in this particular case, the video says like this is why men, have trust issues with women. It comes from a real place. That particular guy, he's going to experience something with this woman, and that's going to like leave a mark on his life. And if it happens multiple times, he's going to eventually, he may have his like red pill moment where he goes like, okay, wow, this is just how women operate. This is the real deal.
Well, guys don't like to fight. Guys want peace.
Yeah.
Why would he want to argue with her over the phone over something that is not worth it? There has to be an issue going on in that case. And she's sitting there. What is she going to do? She's going to not take accountability, and she's going to play the victim. And that's not right. That's something that has to change if ladies out there want to get further with guys in a relationship. It just has to end.
That's why, I think if they were having we don't know the context of the conversation, but I think it's better to have discussions like that in person because you'll look. She was crying over the phone. It sounded realistic to me. Like if I just heard the audio, it sounded like real. So she was a pretty good actor. But I think when it comes to having like conversations with the girl you're dating about some issue, you're better off just meeting up in person because you're gonna be able to gauge better if she's bullshitting you or not. Especially if it's something serious like cheating. We don't know what they were discussing, but if it was something serious like cheating, I would rather discuss it in person.
Do you think eventually he went down afterwards to wherever she is to meet her in person?
Yeah, that's why I wish we had more of the video because that was a really short clip. But I'd really like to know how the rest of that conversation went. But yeah, I mean, if he was close by, maybe he came by the place and try to talk to her in person. Yeah,
100%. As we move forward in this episode, make sure you guys don't forget that we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Subscribe to the channel, support the channel, like the video, share the video. Again, this is important stuff that it's not so popular. That's why, we are on the low end of subscribers at the moment because we know that not everybody likes to see this type of stuff, but we're putting it out there. We're making it known that this is important for both men and women. So again, support the channel and be by our side as we dive further into topics related to men, women, dating, and more of that for sure. More than that, of course. Big question. How much do you think women lie to men?
Well, I think right out the gate, I think women lie far more than men do. I think nowadays women cheat far more than men do. And like you see in this video, women are master manipulators. I hear women accusing guys of being manipulators. And yeah, there's definitely some bad apples out there. And there's definitely some bad guys out there. Overall, I think women are far more deceitful. Yeah.
In general, can you trust a woman even without seeing this video play out? Nowadays, can guys trust a woman?
No. Nowadays, you can't trust women. And you should never just like give a woman the benefit of the doubt. Like, I hear this sometimes like, oh, my girl would never do that. My girl's different. Like, oh, maybe it's the type of woman you're dating. There's no such thing. That's how women are in general. This is like female nature on display. This is how women are.
Do guys give in too easily when it comes to going through this type of situation, an argument, some sort of fight over a variety of situations? Could be cheating, could be lying, could be just not communicating enough. Do guys just forgive too easily and then just keep going with the relationship and not sit down and realize, hey, maybe this is not the woman for me and I should go off and do my own thing or go after another woman?
I think that's a mistake guys make far too often is like allowing little things like that to slide over and over and over again. And then it ends up being a much bigger issue down the line where she finally does cheat or, screw you over in some way, shape, or form. And that's why like we've done episodes where we kind of talk about like vetting women in the beginning and like watching out for certain red flags. It's for a reason, because if you end up in a serious relationship with her and you kind of ignore all those things, not only is she gonna lose respect for you, but you're gonna teach her that she can get away with these things and that she's not gonna take you seriously and she could walk all over you.
It's a big time waster, right? To go through this. Oh, I'm sure guys go through it many times nowadays with modern women and the way they act. This is a reoccurrent situation.
Yeah. In my opinion, honestly, men shouldn't feel embarrassed or shy or anything to just put a woman in her place, because you'll find that she'll have more respect for you that way, rather than kind of like let it slide, avoid confrontation, and then she's gonna pull stuff like this where she's gonna like put on this little act, this scene, and then she's screwing around behind your back or just making a clown out of you.
Definitely, guys should put them in their place.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
You got to call them out on their BS.
Yeah.
And speaking of that particular case, do you think this is a potential shit test that she's putting upon him?
Yeah, in this particular case, it could be her testing the guy. I think it's definitely her manipulating the guy, but she could be. Look, women sometimes subconsciously test guys. It's like a instinctive thing. They do something to a guy to see how he reacts and test his like manliness, like how is he going to handle this. So it could very well be her testing his reaction or how he's going to handle it. And the wrong way to handle it is to let it slide and be passive about it.
Of course, you have to make it known. You have to kind of nip it in the bud, per se. And if you don't, it'll keep happening. And it seems like she's disrespecting him. And should guys ever let women disrespect them like that?
No, and that's the bottom line, is you should never, ever, no matter how small or big the disrespect is, you should never allow it to slide, because every time you allow it to slide, the disrespect will become larger and larger. And that is specifically definitely true with women and men dating.
Do you see this as a problem going on with many, many people across the country? Just these types of situations like cheating and the lying and the not communicating and just all that combined, or some elements of it where it's just you can't get too serious in a relationship. You can't get to the point of marriage because, again, we don't advocate for marriage, but people are going to get married anyway. So getting to that point, can you get to that point? Can you get far with things like this happening? And are guys able to read the warning signs?
I think this is partially a reason why you have so many podcasts out, Manosphere podcast, Red Pill podcast, podcasts that talk about relationships. It's because of stuff like this. And clearly a lot of people are dealing with it because, like, look how large this space has become. How many channels, have come out that speak about this type of stuff. So, I think for a man, like, you're going to learn it one way or another. Like, you're either going to learn it through experiencing it multiple times, or you can, if you're younger, you're going to hear it from somebody older than you, and they're going to give you the heads up that this is just how women are. And now more than ever, it's a big issue. Cheating, women nowadays will keep multiple guys kind of on the back burner. Sometimes they're talking to multiple guys at a time. They cheat, they lie, they manipulate. And if you accuse them of it, they will gaslight you. What she was doing is gaslighting. Like, if you try to accuse a woman nowadays of doing something, she'll make you feel like you're crazy, like it's a figment of your imagination.
Forget marriage, relationship, serious relationship. Are women nowadays worthy of any serious relationship at all? Because at this point, it's just all over the place with what what these women are doing.
This is why so many men have completely backed out of marriage and, like, taking women seriously because of stuff like this. I know that this woman was young and she's in college or whatever, but this type of stuff happens across all ages. It's not just 20-year-olds that are doing it. You'll see 30, 40-year-old women do exactly this type of stuff. I don't think it has anything to do with the age itself. I think it's just like something that females naturally do, like gaslight, lie, manipulate. So it's a big issue in modern dating in general. And it's like, you have, that's why you have to vet women out in the beginning and like always trust your gut instinct and don't stay around with some woman. Most of the time nowadays, guys are not going to be, they're not going to like the idea of marriage because of stuff like this. And it's in my eyes, it's only getting worse and worse as time gets along.
I think that guys are, not all of them, but there's many out there that are rewarding them.
Yeah, you're right.
They're rewarding them by allowing this behavior to continue. There's a lot of simps out there. So what do? They're simping to these women. These women are acting out. They have bad behavior. They're doing things that shouldn't be done. And guys are still giving them attention, still taking them out, still buying them gifts, still giving them the relationship, still giving them the ring. It's insane.
And that's one of the underlying reasons why women are acting out this way, and overall it's getting worse and worse because, like you said, women are, no matter how they act nowadays, they're gonna get the attention anyway. They can easily replace one guy with another guy. They have multiple guys DMing them. They have such a long list of guys that are just like waiting for a chance to like talk to them and get have the chance to like meet up with them, that they're not going to take a lot of guys seriously and they're going to walk all over them, and you have to play accordingly. If that's how they want to play it, then as guys, you have to kind of like be like, oh, okay, that's how it is. And you have to just play it smart because these women nowadays will walk all over you if you allow them to.
The girl filming the video of her friend, or the person, we can't say if it was a girl or guy. We assume it's a girl, dorm room.
Mm-hmm.
But the person filming that girl in that video, is that person as guilty as the girl on the phone?
100%. And you're right. We don't know if it's a man or a woman, come to think of it. But, I would say it's probably a woman that's, that she's dorming with, and she's doing the same thing. She knows they winked at each other. Like, they probably do that all the time, they know the game they're playing. So
it's pretty complicit, if you ask me.
Yeah, they're especially college age women. I mean, this is if you're dating in college right now and your woman's at a different school than you, like she's gonna cheat. I'm sorry to tell you.
Well, college age, maybe she's 19, 20,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. Does it make a difference, the age of how these women act? I mean, you know, do 40-year-old women, 45-year-old women, 55-year-old women act this way?
What you saw in the video, that type of manipulation is done by women all ages. Doesn't matter, 20, 30, 40. You know, by 50 at that point, I don't think any of us here are trying to go after women that age, but like women of all age do it.
Is it going to bite them in the ass later on as they get older? Women, once they hit 30, their looks tend to decrease. The attraction for men towards women that age or higher tends to decrease. Is it going to backfire on them?
100%. I mean, look, women always hate hearing this, but by a certain age, they need to like get their act together, because, you know, this may be acceptable when you're 20 years old, but if you're still gaslighting and playing games and cheating in your 30s, like you kind of deserve what you have coming to you. And the guys are just gonna treat you like a sexual object and not gonna take you seriously. And by then, guys usually, you know, smarten up themselves by that age and understand the game a little better, and they're just gonna play you right back.
Is that why older women find themselves single at 30, 35, 40?
Yeah,
maybe single, divorced with a kid. Maybe she didn't get married, but she's just a single mama, baby mama. They find themselves in that situation. Are they at fault for that? Is that some of this stuff the reason why they get to that age and they're on their own?
You know, it's funny because women are so picky and choosy when it comes to guys, but so many of them end up being single moms by the time they're in their 30s. In my opinion, I don't even believe women are really that good at choosing guys altogether, because if they were, you wouldn't have so many single moms and divorces. And they always, prime example, right? Look how many single moms there are. They always blame the guy. It's always the guy's fault. Oh, he was toxic. He was manipulative. Oh, he was this and that. You chose this guy. That was the guy you chose to date and to have a kid with. So,
well, what's crazy clown world with the fact that there's women, of course, men and women, but I've seen videos of women, they get caught cheating and they turn it on the guy like it was his fault.
Yeah. Good point. Like, there's a lot of videos out there of guys catching women cheating, and the reaction is always pretty much the same. They always will start crying, and all of a sudden they get so serious about it. Like, no, don't leave. Like, it's usually the woman having like a complete meltdown. She wasn't having a meltdown when she was cheating. She didn't give two shits about the guy or the relationship when she was cheating. But the moment they get caught, like when they know they're caught, like the guy knows for sure, like he saw it happening or walked in on it, it's crazy how they react. It's always like, those videos are hilarious to watch. They always have a meltdown and start crying and please, give me another chance.
Do you think women at a younger age should understand to take things more seriously, so at a later age it doesn't get more difficult for them? Don't you think it's better that they start off, maybe make a couple mistakes, but not blatantly go out and cheat, lie, do things to cause trouble, because that is going to take them into the future and may not take them on the right path when it comes to relationships.
1,000%. And you know what? Another way to put it is like, you know, in a way, women are going to teach guys how to treat them. If you're going to act like this, then you're just going to, in the long term, teach guys that, like, okay, so you're that type of a woman. This is how we're going to put you in that box, and that's how we're going to treat you. And I, like, you know, I know women that are already in their mid 30s, and like, I could already tell they're never going to, no guy's going to take them seriously because of their long toxic past. And like, you know, people could just see it, that's how you are, and they're not going to take you seriously. By that age, if you're in your 30s as a woman and like you haven't really locked the guy down, it's going to be very tough for you.
That's the thing that I as well know women and know of women that just can't lock someone down.
Yeah.
They're still in their 30s or even in their 40s and they're still bouncing around.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen videos of women crying on TikTok, just saying that, oh, they wish they had a guy. I mean, it's kind of like too little too late at that point, right?
Women will find a million reasons to blame guys, but like you said, if they're already in their mid 30s and you still haven't locked the guy down, with all the guys that nowadays that are like, you know, desperate or simping, you can't find the guy by that age, there's something wrong with you or how you're acting that a guy hasn't, that you haven't locked the guy in, or like even like the women that are pursuing marriage and they want kids. Like if you're in your mid-30s, you still haven't locked somebody down. There's something you have to like stop and like look at yourself. Like something's up with that. Either your standards are too high, or it's the way you're acting that's chasing guys away.
Well, you hit it right on the money. Their standards are too high.
Yeah.
There's so many guys out there, so many good men, real men out there that are looking for a relationship. They're willing to give you a relationship. As crazy as some women are, as crazy as some women act, they're willing to give you that relationship.
100%.
And again, we're not saying here that guys are saints. There's guys out there that are players too. There's guys out there that do wrong as well. But we're talking off of this particular video, this reaction video of this girl doing something incorrectly, whatever that may be. We're assuming the likely result of that argument there was cheating, based on the circumstances and where she was and all of that. And usually cheating is the main culprit. But it's mostly the ladies that cause this situation where guys want something, and when they get into a relationship, they want to keep it, and then the ladies just have to ruin it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times women ruin it by how they act, and then eventually the guy will react to it sooner or later, or call her out on it, or hold her accountable, and then the relationship goes to shit because she kind of cultivated that type of vibe of the relationship. And like guys, I think generally don't want to argue with women or have like problems, and like we try our best to not get emotional and argue and flip out, but women sometimes bring it out of us. And if she acts like that, with this particular guy over and over again, he's eventually gonna, flip out and lose it on her, and the relationship's gonna end.
So, what's your final thoughts of the video, the reaction, the topic at hand?
Yeah, I think this was a very short clip, but it was quick and to the point. It displays how manipulative women can be, and how they don't respect guys, and they'll lie right to your face and laugh to their friends about it. And you should always trust your gut instinct. If you think your girl's cheating or playing games with you, don't let her crying manipulate you into feeling bad for her. So
yeah, don't feel tricked into thinking that she is actually feeling guilty when she's really not. You have to be there face to face, talk with her in person, and you can try to figure things out. But if she's not being sincere and genuine with you, out the door. You get sometimes a second try. Of course, you've been with someone for a while, and they haven't done something that bad. Fine, second try. We're not talking about cheating. That's one and done. You cheat, you're out.
Correct.
But you figure things out, and sure, give her the chance if it's warranted. But if it's not, then that's it. You move on from her, and you either move on to another woman, or, which this one I recommend, is go and work on yourself.
Understand that women absolutely at all ages will manipulate you and play emotional games with you. So
yeah, guys, that's about it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 1,000. Join us here as we take off, and like the video, share the video. Follow us on TikTok, the Podcast Guys _, Instagram, the Podcast Guys _. We're on X now, the Podcast Guys 5. And we'll see you next time. Peace.